Hi guys, it's ALCHEMY. How's everyone doing? Good, 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 I hope. This is the first individual perfume review I've done in forever. I cannot remember the last time I did an individual perfume review. I feel rusty, I feel out of sorts about it. I don't know how I feel about it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Because I have wanted this perfume for almost 5 years, I think. It's CHARADE by the wonderful Sarah Baker. So I did a spotlight on Sarah Baker's perfumes about 4 or 5 years ago. This was the standout perfume from the bunch, and I still loved it all the way through to finally getting it last year in my collection. You may have seen it pop up in my fragrances I obtained in 2023 video. It was in there somewhere and loved it the whole time. I think it's pretty much a masterpiece. So this is the one I've chosen to do after my long hiatus of not doing an individual perfume review because it is fantastic. So, if you don't know about Sarah Baker perfumes, she is a pretty cool chick. She is an American lady that now lives in London. She's lived here since 2021, I think. So she considers herself kind of a Brit, or at least the brand. The brand is a British brand. And she's an artist in many forms, not just painting or sketching, as I'll talk to you about in a minute. And her perfumes are avant-garde. She likes to make statement fragrances. She doesn't make shy and retiring fragrances. She doesn't really make super pretty things all the time. Sometimes, but there's always an element of, oh, that's a little bit strange. And I love it. Really like her as a brand. So CHARADE is the standout. You can't like everything in someone's collection. It's impossible, I think. No, maybe not impossible, but it's rare. And this one is something special. So let me tell you a little bit about the way it's packaged, because this is a brand with a lot of personal touches, a lot of things that are personal to Sarah, memories of hers about who she is. And she is an independent brand, which we love as well. We have to support these independent brands. And on top of that, she manages to create fragrances that are unique, really good quality, and man, do they last, especially this one. There's a couple of others in her collection that are just monstrous as well, but this one in particular. So this is the box. I already opened, this is the second bottle of this that I've had. And I opened it this morning and I put it on in preparation for this review, but I have worn this a ton of times. So let me show you the sketch on the front of her bottle. This is her sketch. And this is, there is a statue in where Sarah lives, and it's called Lady Justice. And this is her sketch of that statue. And what she's done is, it's on a building in where she lives in East London. She's blindfolded it. I'm not sure if the actual statue is blindfolded. I didn't do that much research, but it's blindfolded. So Lady Justice is being forced to use her sense of smell. She's having to, you know, she can't use her sight, so she's having to do everything with her sense of smell. That's what it is. So the logo of her company is super cool. It's an SB. Which way does it go around? I can never figure it out. That's her logo. It's an SB, but it's also a nod to a theme park that Sarah used to go to. It's a nod to their logo. So yeah, great stuff. All of her packaging is sustainable, recyclable, all of that stuff. It comes with a tear off little, which I did this morning, and then opens like this. I won't go too much into packaging. I don't usually do that, but you know, we have to talk about these sustainable brands because it's very, very cool what they're doing. And I love the box, even the packaging inside, this kind of, it's like little foamy bits to protect the perfume. Comes with its own little booklet, CHARADE, and here's the perfume. They come in 50 mils. And they are X-ray as well. All of her perfumes are X-ray. So that's CHARADE. The perfume itself, let's talk about it. What is CHARADE? I'm gonna spray it on my hand. I'm wearing it today. It is 12 hours later, and I can still smell it on myself, on my neck. My colleague said I can still smell you when you walk past me. It is still present on my wrist. So let's just get the longevity out of the way. Just incredible. If you're a longevity whore, you're gonna like it for that reason. You might not like the smell, but you'll like the longevity. So CHARADE is the name of a movie, actually, a movie that came out in 1963, and it's with Audrey Hepburn and Cary Grant. Haven't seen it, but I know that it's like a romantic comedy, kind of suspenseful movie. but done in a funny way. And while this isn't inspired by the actual movie, it is inspired by old Hollywood glamour and old vintage kind of style fragrances. You know I love a vintage here and there. My fragrance collection is peppered with them. They're just dotted in there because sometimes vintage fragrances are just, they're special. And this one I would describe as a modern vintage, but I will give you the notes. So the perfumer is Andreas Wilhelm. He's the guy that's behind the brand Perfume Sucks. I haven't smelled many perfumes by him, apart from maybe some of the ones he did for Peur Noir. And also another side note, or a side note, Sarah Baker puts the name of the nose on her perfumes, which is lovely. A lot of brands keep this kind of thing secret sometimes, where I find it tricky to find out who's the nose behind them. Sarah displays them in all their glory, and I think it's a nice touch, another nice little touch for the brand. So the notes are French tuberose, ylang ylang, benzoin, leather accord, patchouli, tea, honey, sandalwood, amber, vetiver, and moss. Very bold. So it doesn't need to be said that this fragrance is not for the faint-hearted. It is, however, for tuberose lovers. And it's a fragrance for vintage tuberose lovers, because most tuberose fragrances nowadays are placed with lots of sweet, vanillic, kind of possibly even ambery, or just kind of, I guess it's just easy. Tuberose is such an amazing flower. It really is something that shouts loud in perfumes, and this fragrance really lets it shine. So it doesn't fit into one category, and that's another reason why I really like it. It is a leather, it is a floral, it is an amber kind of, but it's also a bit of a chypre too. So yeah, all of this going on at once. Oh my God. Okay, how does it smell? So first and foremostly, tuberose. This is a vintage, rough-edged tuberose. You know, think in the world of Fracas, not in the world of Amouage Love tuberose or any other sweet white floral that's kind of flooding the market at the moment. And I can feel when I first try it, ylang ylang, or ylang ylang too. The ylang ylang is behind the tuberose though. The tuberose is the star, and it usually always is, to be honest, but the ylang ylang gives just a little bit of softness in the floral part of this perfume. You're also immediately whacked with such an amazing leather accord that I've not smelled in any other perfume. It's very cool. It's not like leather boot, and it's not like a suede leather. You know, leather in perfume can be interchangeable and it can be different all the time. It just depends how the accord was made by that particular perfumer. So it is on the heavier side of a leather accord, but it's not a leather boot. So it's somewhere in between, I would say, in between a kind of suede and a very bold dark leather. And it almost feels like the leather for me is coming from the florals. I know that sounds really strange, but that can happen. It can happen with orange blossom. Orange blossom can give leathery tones. Osmanthus can give leathery tones. It feels like somehow the magic of this perfume, the tuberose and ylang have lent a leatheriness to the perfume, as well as there being a leathery accord. I've never said that in any review, but that's just how it makes me feel. That's what I get from it. Super cool, super bold, very, very loud. I have oversprayed this perfume far too many times. As much as I love it, I have oversprayed it a little bit where I've wanted to actually wash it off, not because of not liking the fragrance, just that it can be very overwhelming. So word of warning, if you ever try this, you do not need a lot of sprays, and it's something I have had to school myself about and teach myself about with this one. So beware. I don't feel like it has top notes, even though it has tea listed, which can be kind of heart or top. There isn't really anything tea-like to my nose. You're too overwhelmed by the big bad guys that are in this perfume. So tea, I feel, kind of gets lost. Maybe you might be able to pick it out when you smell it. But let's talk about honey, because honey is present in this as well. So by no means is it a sweet perfume. It is a dark, rough leather floral. The moss is kind of hiding in the background for the most part until much later. But there is wisps of honey here, and it's great because it's not that Uranus honey that can happen in the perfume world so often. I've seen it happen so often where you think, oh, honey, and then you just get a kind of pissiness. Not in this one. It's way in the background for me. I guess on some people's skin it might be a bit more in the forefront, but there is a sweet honey-like tone going on far in the background. The tricky thing is, honey is floral in the way it smells too. So again, overshadowed by this monstrous, amazing tuberose. With ylang ylang just running in second place, saying, wait for me. There isn't much more to say about this one because for me, it feels linear. With the absence of top notes, you are thrown right into this vintage. It feels like I should be smoking a cigarette when I wear it. I don't know, it's just, it's got that feel. Like it's a, what did I say before? It's a modern vintage, that's what it is. So to me, when I first spray it, it stays, that's how it is. It delivers what it smells like when you first put it on. And I mentioned before the longevity. I'm talking about 12 hours later. Sometimes I can sleep and still smell it on myself when I wake up. I'm not joking. That's how kind of potent this is and how long lasting it is. And the only thing that happens is for me towards the very end of the wear length, and this is usually the next day, this is where the chypre part comes. It's not a full-on constructed chypre, but the moss in it gives it that little bit of more of a dry edge when it dries, and you can feel moss in there. So yeah, it hits a lot of things: leather, floral, kind of ambery, and chypre at the same time, and it is just absolutely fantastic. That's why I'm ranting and loving on it right now. I am so glad I have another bottle, because one bottle already gone. And I will say, try it out if you can. It is, Sarah Baker's line is something, it's kind of like a treat for the nose, and if you don't like all of them, they all have something a little bit about them. But this for me is my ultimate. She has just announced a new release called Peach's Revenge. She just revealed it at Exxon's, so I'm really excited to try that as well. I don't like peach that much, but I want to see how Sarah does peach. So yeah. Anyway, that is my review of Charade by Sarah Baker. I'll put a link below to a place where you can actually buy samples of this one if you so care to try it out, or if you even buy the bottle itself. But for now, I'm not going to spray anymore because it's evening and I don't need it to be going into next week. So that's the end of my review. I hope you liked this video. I'm Ouch 110, trying to make the world smell better, one video at a time. I'll speak to you guys soon. Goodbye.